Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry Gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 282nd episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We're powered by 8bit.net and those sexy legends over at Audio Technica. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, as always, my podcast Ride or Die, my hungry partner in crime. You can find her on them socials at Miss Ali Hart. She is the Scarlet Witch to my Doctor Strange in this episode. How you doing, Miss Ali Hart? What's going on?
Doing well. I was really curious based on information we've provided each other on where the reference was going to come from, but that one's pretty valid, and I think so. I don't mind being Wanda.
Yeah, there's certainly worse people to be. I've got such a crush on Elizabeth Olsen. I've realized over the years.
Yeah, she's pretty adorable, and she has her own like quirkiness to her that kind of adds to it. She's probably one of the better females in the Marvel universe.
Totally agree. And I'm excited to see how it all plays out on the big screen in Multiverse of Madness. But full spoilers, listeners, we have neither watched
not yet.
Doctor Strange yet. Jono has, and he says it's fantastic and it's very Sam Raimi, which I am very excited for. But yeah, we have no opinions right now on Mr. Raimi coming all the way back to the horror circle, which I'm very excited for to see how it's realized with Doctor Strange and his Multiverse of Madness. But you'll have to wait a little longer before we give you some spoiler-free reviews here on THG.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be good.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a very mixed bag. Like the responses that I'm seeing, some people are like, this is the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen. And some people are like, this is the best one. So I'm like, oh, where am I going to sit?
Yeah, you're the wild card.
I am.
You're always the wild card on these reviews.
Everyone's like, this is the shittiest fucking movie ever. And I'm like, it's great. It's my favorite movie ever.
Yeah, I'm the resident apologist and the eternal optimist. But yeah, big Sam Raimi fan. Very excited to see what he does where he sprinkles some of this Raimi horror mentality amongst Strange and Co. So I'm positive about this. I think it's going to be good. It can't be any fucking worse than Venom. That's for damn sure. And
that's
Morbius.
True.
So
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, time will tell.
Time will tell. But we'll talk about what you've been playing in a second. But full disclosure, I haven't done a ton in the geek and pop culture universe this past week. I've been remote all week for work, so I haven't had a chance to play anything. Haven't really watched much, but I did finally finish the second season of Demon Slayer, so the Entertainment District arc. They've finally released all the dubbed episodes that has accompanied, obviously, the standard subtitled fare. And boy howdy, this is one of the best anime going around. And that's no surprise, you know. It's a blockbuster. It makes so much money at the box office. Universally loved. Animation style, it's stunning. But it's one of the best animated things on television. And I'm so happy to sort of catch the back end of this 11-episode arc for the Entertainment District, which sort of covers off a little storyline from the manga. And oh my god, it's so good, Miss Hart. Have you watched any Demon Slayer yet?
No.
Okay.
No, sorry.
Well, please do.
Sorry.
Please go watch some.
I know there's all this very I guess you can call it now mainstream anime that's generally popular. And I know I've heard Demon Slayer a million times over, so I'm very familiar of its existence. But it obviously seems like one of those ones that's quite an investment. So I'm like, as a person that still hasn't finished My Hero or caught up, with My Hero, I think I should just take it easy. Although, frick, where did I see it? There's an anime that I now want to look up, and I'm sure maybe someone out here in the anime universe, so it's a fan, might know what it is. I'm sure a Google search will bring it up, but it's apparently this anime where it's like some emperor from the past, like a Japanese or like an emperor who comes to the future and he becomes a music manager for a young girl to become a pop sensation.
Oh, goddamn.
It is that the concept was so outlandish and the video for it was so wild that I was like, oh, I think I'm on board with this because it's just wild. And I think that's the great thing about anime is that there's some things out there that are a little bit weird and then there's just full on anime weird. And I think that's usually what I sign up for.
It sounds like it's certainly in the realm of Miss Ally Hart fandom right there. And yeah, the good thing with anime is anyone that's sort of perused Crunchyroll or just the internet in general, there's something for everybody. There is a genre and a storyline that could appeal to anybody from any walk of life. So yeah, that sounds like it could be good fun. You know,
Yeah.
let's see what this old warlord does in modern day, where he's a music manager.
Yeah, I'll have to find it, and if I don't find it by the end of this episode, I'll try to find it and I'll post it on the socials so people can kind of get what it is, unless someone beats me to it. So
There's a chance. There's a chance.
There's a chance, everyone.
Yeah, but my God, Demon Slayer it's so good. It's one of my favorites, and just the animation style, like the studio behind it, UFO Table, just it's an art form the way they bring these panels from the manga to screen, and it's just a visual sensory overload, and the storyline's great, the characters phenomenal. Just the swordplay and the abilities when you start seeing them use their certain sort of moves and styles, it's stunning, but also gory and horrific and bloody,
Which is good.
and it's great because obviously this anime has had so much worldwide success, but it is a little bit heavier in tone in comparison to something like, you know, My Hero has some heavy moments, but
Yeah.
you don't see a ton of gore and viscera. Where this leans into it, you know, to kill these demons, you got to cut their heads off. So there's a lot of decapitations and things going around in this show.
Fair
But
enough.
it's so good, and we've got a third season on the way already confirmed, which is awesome. So hopefully we don't have to wait too long between drinks there. But I don't think we will, because the anime, the first run of it was in 2019, sort of April 2019. And
Really?
so far we've had 2 seasons roll through within 3 years. So hopefully we'll have this third season, Swordsmith Village arc is what they've confirmed is coming. Hopefully that rolls in maybe the back end of next year, all things going well, unless they're already hard at work on it. But yeah, I can't wait, because it's obviously the Mugen Train film that they did, the offshoot of this that then connects into the second season as well. Highest grossing anime film and Japanese film of all time. So people are hungry for more Demon Slayer, and oh my God, it was just a great ending to the Entertainment District arc, and I can't wait for more.
I'll eventually get to it. I think it's that one and then Psycho Mob something or other that has been heavily recommended to me. So, to be honest, Psycho Mob sounds like my kind of thing, but
It depends on what you're looking for.
people will tell me that I'm wrong, but
Yeah, because you like some of the more unique viewing experiences, and you
it's
know
true.
you can lean towards the horror and the shock and the gore, and there is some anime that go into that in a big way and can be a bit unsettling to watch. But yeah, there's something for everybody out there. And
I had an inkling. Like I really wanted to watch Bubblegum
Family.
Crisis. What?
oh, go back to Bubblegum Crisis.
Yeah, I
God
wanted to
damn.
go back and watch Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2070. No, wait.
Mhm.
2470? Now
I think it's 2070. I think.
yeah. Because there's the original Bubblegum Crisis and then there was the kind of the other one. But I got recommended something, like a little clip from it, and I was like, I remember loving that anime, but I also think it is pretty dated now, but I really wanted to watch it again.
You could. It's all like everything's on Crunchyroll. Obviously, Crunchyroll
Is
is the main hub for all anime now. That all these other subsets, you know, Funimation and such, has been swallowed up into it. So it's all there on Crunchyroll, and they've really upgraded their user interface, especially if you're watching it on your computer while doing other things. They've got sort of like a beta version as far as their streaming side, which is a lot easier to navigate and bookmark and save. So it's a lot more user friendly, but it's really good. It's really, really good. Demon Slayer. No one's surprised by that. But also, yeah, Spike's family, still loving it. It's so cute and endearing and quirky and fun. And Anya, the little daughter, I'll die for that little kid. She's the best. But that's me. But you, I see you've still been playing some Fortnite.
Yeah, like I'm a little addicted. I think I just enjoy any game where you can literally just load it up, play a few matches, and then, get out, essentially. I haven't had any wins, so many number 2s. I feel like, Fortnite is my fiber.
Or out of game?
Yeah, well, Fortnite's my fiber, just number 2s everywhere, man. Like, second place here, second place there. Had a lot of close calls. I'm just, like, all I'm happy about is that I'm not, like, finishing, ending these matches with just 1 kill or no kill. Like, there's a lot of kills to count and a lot of damage and stuff, so I'm happy about that. It's an achievement in itself coming from like my previous background. It also makes me wonder why am I better at this one than I am at other shooters?
I think my biggest takeaway, like I'm not saying how I think about you playing, but just the general observation with this game, because this game is a little floaty, like in movement, and even with the gun, like you can be aiming straight down the sights, but it's not a guarantee that every one of those rounds is going to hit. Where Apex, if you've got someone dead to rights down the scope, there's a fair chance every bullet you're going to be firing from that R301 or weapon, whatever,
not much dropping,
is going to lay damage. Where this, it's almost like Halo movement in a way, where it's sort of a bit floaty, and which adds to the accessibility, especially in no build, where you can sort of breathe a little bit more, and there's a chance you can survive a firefight if someone gets the jump on you. But I don't know,
true.
It's good because it feels it's more comfortable to play. It's that step slower.
That is actually a really great way to describe it. It is a much more comfortable way to play a battle royale. But yeah, it's been really, really good. Enjoying the addition of Star Wars content right now with the lightsaber and then the blaster as well. It's been interesting. It's definitely changed things up a little bit, but yeah, and just FYI, I know I made a comment about like whether I'd play this long enough. Yes, I got the battle pass, so I am now a battle pass holder because it's all adding up now. So
join us.
Oh, and I've also got skins and stuff now too.
Yeah, you did.
So,
you did.
Yeah, the girl has caved.
I was stressed all week because I didn't have any means to play it, and like with Xbox, like if I took my Switch, the skins would not carry to the Xbox. So Xbox skins will carry to PC and vice versa, but it won't jump across to other console platforms and vice versa. And there were so many skins that came out this week with Star Wars Week. So many. And then all these more Street Fighter ones. But I got home last night at a late hour after some plane delays, thanks Adelaide Airport and just general Melbourne weather, I guess. But came home last night, and I'm like, you know what? I've been working hard this week. I need to treat myself. So I jumped on, dropped some V-Bucks, and I bought many a skin. I picked up my boy Boba Fett. I got Chrysanthemum from, obviously, that popped up in the Book of Boba Fett as well that you saw, the Bounty Hunter Wookiee. I picked up some Street Fighter stuff. I picked up some Star Wars stuff. I went a little overboard. Did I have buyer's remorse? No, I did not, because this game has got me addicted, and yeah, I just want all the nice shiny things. So I invested way too much money, and I'm excited to play with them today.
Yeah, this is a Halo Gears of War now. It's crazy.
Oh, and I bought Scarlet Witch too. She was up the top
but
there,
she
hiding
looks
away.
Good. I like how she looks in this, actually. It's actually a pretty clean skin, especially with the little emote that she does with her, like, doing her little spell and then floating in the air. I admit that's pretty cool. I haven't gotten that, though.
But it's so fun. It's so fun. And something else that I'm excited to be talking about next week when episode 283 drops is the new Evil Dead game. So I'm excited to share some insights on that little beauty with Ash Williams and co. trying to fight all those Deadites. But anything else you want to talk about what you've been up to, or should we just sort of start working our way through the usual THG structures?
Let's go through it all.
All right. So a bit of housekeeping. Obviously, you want to support us monetarily, that would be awesome if you could. ko-fi.com/weare8bit From the low price of $1, you get automatic access to competitions, giveaways, early access to content, and everything else in between. And it scales from there, and there's other tiers where you can get exclusive merchandise, tees, hats, hoodies, so on and so forth. Also, if you wanted to get some of those tees, hats, hoodies, so on and so forth on your person and don't want to wait for those Ko-fi subscriptions to activate, shop8bit.net is the place to go. It is our official merch store, and there is tons of designs and styles and sizes for everybody and every person and every shape, and they're going to look great on you. You want some tie-dye? You can get that there. You want a trucker hat? You can get that there. You want some socks? I think you can get those there too. You name it, we can kit you out from head to toe. You can be in the full 8-bit uniform from there. And our May giveaway is now officially live, and this time around we're going to be giving away the brand spanking new Audio-Technica ATH GL3 hardwired gaming headsets. They come in black or white. They are super slick. I've worn and played with these, and they are really, really comfy. They snug your head in just the right way. They feel good on your ears. Nice big open ear cups. Detachable microphone too, so if you want to be gaming and chatting, awesome. You want to wear these out on the street, awesome as well. And to go into the draw for the ATH GL3 gaming headset, it's pretty simple. Just hit us up on the socials and tell us what you like or what you don't like, or fondest or least fondest memories regarding the Hungry Gamers. So it can be something maybe from the episode you've just listened to, could be something that you picked up and remember from years ago that we may or may not have talked about or done. Just hit us up on them socials, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and just make sure you tag at We Are 8-Bit, tag at Miss Ellie Hart, or tag at Brendan 8-Bit. At least tag one of those three, just so we can get some visibility there. Or if you wanted to just do that social post, screenshot it and DM or email, you can do that as well. And there's no rules. There's no, you don't have to be the funniest or the rudest or the wittiest. It's just we wanted to correlate some nice memories and some good thoughts. Get some voice of listener. Let's get some feedback.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to reward the rudest.
We might.
That person was an asshole. Let's give him something. Obviously, you can say whatever you want, but we're just not going to reward it.
Yeah, just don't be mean for the sake of being mean. It's free to be kind, as they say, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Is that what they say?
They should, because it is free to be kind. For the most part, unless you're buying someone a chocolate.
Yes.
I don't know. But if you want to win yourself an ATH GL3 gaming headset from our friends over at Audio-Technica, that's how you get in. Just share some thoughts, share some memories, share some feedback on the Hungry Gamers, on them socials, and you are automatically in the draw. And you're automatically in the draw as well if you are supporting us over at ko-fi.com/We Are 8-Bit, where specific tiers of that Ko-fi page will get you bonus entries into the draw as well. So it'll increase your chances to win that GL3 gaming headset. Another little bit of housekeeping. Our resident Miss Hart here, she was on the latest News to Reviews podcast with Zach and Aaron. You can find them on the socials at News2 Reviews on them Twitters. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe them on your podcast player of choice, and listen to Miss Hart riffed with a couple of the best. How was that episode, Miss Hart? I haven't listened to it yet. Full disclosure, it's been pretty off grid as far as content consumption this week, but you had a good time as per usual?
As per usual, had a lovely time with Zach, and I got to meet Aaron, and we just had a great chat. We talked all things video games. We talked a bit about Elden Ring. We talked some Overwatch beta. We talked some House of the Dead. It was really, really fun. So I definitely recommend giving them a listen, giving them a follow, guys. They're just a good bunch of dudes just talking games.
Yeah, they are a couple of Australia's best and brightest in the gaming podcast sphere, and yeah, just genuine good people, which we need more of,
Also, hope you feel better soon, Zach.
Yeah, rest up. All right, that brings us to the end of housekeeping. Let's jump over to this.
This week's news headlines.
All right, and the first quick hitter, the Jeff Healey hosted Summer Game Fest will officially be broadcasting its live show on Thursday, the 9th of June at 7 p.m. UK time. That's going to be Friday, the 10th of June at the very, very, very early hour of 4 a.m. for us in Melbourne or Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. 3:30 a.m. for Tassie, 2 a.m. for Western Australia. So it's going to be an early start for us here in the AU. It's also, if we're looking across to other regions, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern around the globe there. But yeah, Summer of Game Fest is, of course, the Keighley-fronted rival, and you could say now semi-successor to the usual array of E3 press conferences, which typically broadcast each summer. Obviously not this year, because there's no actual E3, not digital or physical, as we'll all recall. Announcing the festivities, Keighley promised, in quotes, live cross-industry showcase with game announcements, reveals, and the indie-focused Day of the Devs. So, yeah, Summer Game Fest the last couple of years, it's gone from strength to strength. There is far too much Hideo Kojima favoritism shown by Jeff, but he just wants the world to know that they're good friends and continue to be good friends. So no doubt we'll get the announcement of probably Death Stranding Director's Cut 2.0 Extended Edition remixed with the latest sugar-free variant of Monster in the game instead of the standard can that was broadcast throughout it. But yeah, Summer Game Fest has become, I guess, just about one of the biggest showcases in the calendar every year now. And yeah, it's announced for Thursday the 9th / Friday the 10th, depending on where you are in the world. So in a little over a month's time, we get Summer Game Fest again. Are you excited, Miss Hart?
Yeah, I think Jeff Keighley does a good job, and obviously he's managed to do what the group at E3 haven't been able to, and he's continued to push this forward, and he does it well. I think it's probably going to be good too that we don't have Summer Games Fest and E3, and then we keep on seeing repetition of trailers. I just remember was it last year, seeing that same Jurassic Park game trailer.
Don't you dare besmirch Jurassic World Evolution 2.
I'm going to. I think I saw that game trailer 5 times, maybe even 6, within the span of that whole month of showcasing games. It was intense. But yeah, I'm curious to see what the live element of Summer Games Fest will be. Now that obviously in-person events are a bit more common now, and audiences may start making an appearance, which might not have my favor, because I actually enjoyed how fluid the presentations were without audience members. It just kind of just continued on, and not to mention that the showpiece, the stage and everything. Well, yeah, I guess the stage that he kind of did with this 3D with the background and the floor, and a interactive element, and all the it just looked good. It looked really good. So I don't know if he's going to stick with that or if he's going to revert back to having a live audience.
I'm just curious to know what live musical act will be playing at Summer Game Fest.
Ooh, yeah.
Would you like to put down a friendly wager or a quick guess between ourselves who you think might take the stage?
I don't know. I'm trying to think what would be some of the key presentations that would be happening for the Summer Games Fest, and maybe we'll get an orchestral Zelda thing, because I'm sure they'll be pumping some Zelda. And we might get maybe a pop artist singing. We might get two musical acts.
I'm gonna say, as I grip my teeth because I can't stand the artist, I'm going to say that Imagine Dragons might make an appearance, because they're so across the gaming realm now, and we had Arcane come out at the back end of 2021, so that didn't really get some coverage during Summer Game Fest. So maybe we'll get some Imagine Dragons, which will break my heart and infuriate me at the same time. But that's where I'm going to cast my stone or my bet.
That's fair enough. Let's see what happens.
Let's see. But yeah, don't have to wait too long. A little over a month's time.
Scary.
Summer Game Fest. Available on the internet. It will be broadcast, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you want to find it. You will be able to get access to Summer Game Fest. But yeah, 4 a.m. for us Australians to
guys,
get up and embrace it. Boy, howdy.
No, maybe just remember the day before just to if you don't want things spoiled, mute the hashtag, I think, because you guys could just wake up to spoilers, which sucks. That sucks.
It does. It's not a good time, but I'm going to do my best to try and get up and watch it. Will I? Maybe not, because I like my sleep, but I'll see if I can get up at 4 and see it play out all live on the internet. The next little bit of news here, the Guillemot family is considering to partner with a private equity firm to acquire Ubisoft from potential buyers. As reported by Seeking Alpha, according to Deal Reporter, the group's reasoning is because it would like to remain in control of the company. Ubisoft was established in 1986, fantastic year by the way, by the 5 Guillemot brothers, where Yves Guillemot currently serves as the company's CEO and has been in the role for decades. The Guillemot family currently owns 16% of Ubisoft shares and 22% of its net voting shares. This news follows a week after Bloomberg reported that the Assassin's Creed maker is attracting buyout interest. Among the companies is Blackstone, which has made investments in various firms such as Epic Game, AppLovin, and Google. Never heard of AppLovin? Is it a sex app? Maybe. Certainly sounds like it could be.
Possibly.
But this makes sense. Like they started this company 35/36 years ago, and it would make sense to keep it in the family. Ubisoft is still a very, very large gaming developer and publisher. They've got a lot of world-renowned IP. They're not without controversy, some relating directly to some of the Guillemot family, some related to broader staff that have since moved in and out of roles. But keeping it in-house means more profit, means more say on the direction of the company. But it's funny because I think we reported maybe a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago now, there was also talk from one of the Guillemot members that said they'd be open to being purchased.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft's been having a really rough track lately in the news of just like bad decision making. Like, I guess decisions actually have never really been slated or made, but like you said, they've obviously had a lot of in-house issues regarding how the company is handled with allegations and such. Then we moved on to well, yeah, like we said, like them kind of putting it out there because everyone else is getting purchased. They were kind of like, hey, we're up for sale too, if you like. Then we've also seen a lot of turmoil regarding them and NFTs and blockchains and such. And kind of, I don't know if they ever went back on it or if they just kind of not made comments since. And then just seeing this as well, this kind of mention, like, it's a shame. Ubisoft is like a hub of like really good games and, you know, important franchises. So, but I think like, it does, to be honest, Epic Games does seem like the one that would pick it up.
You know, it's not as if they don't have the money
yes.
to potentially engage and
No
acquire.
thanks to us.
Yeah, goddamn Fortnite store. Curse you! I'm actually recording from a cardboard box I live in now because I spent all my money on skins. So at least the wireless connectivity is pretty good here. But anyway, it's very much watch this space. Let's see what happens with Ubisoft. Let's see if we get some fresh announcements at Summer Game Fest. Like at time of recording here on the 7th of May at 10 a.m. here Victorian time. There has been no official announcement yet from Ubisoft regarding a press conference during this summer run of digital events. Maybe we'll get an announcement in the near future because you know they're one of the primaries that always deliver in that regard. And will we see another update on Beyond Good and Evil 2? Because that game's been out in the wilderness now for a good long time. A lot of press and a lot of love and hype, and then just crickets. But that happens with a lot of these IP that they've got outside of, you know, Assassin's Creed and some of those mainline ones like Just Dance. You don't hear things minute to minute from Ubisoft with regards to those IPs. So let's see what happens in the coming weeks.
I have to correct myself. It was actually Blackstone. Blackstone had invested interest in Epic Games, not Epic Games investing interest in Ubisoft. So I'll retract that one. But I'm also curious to see if Amazon ever wants to kind of join the club as well, because Amazon's been trying to branch out with their gaming stuff. So.
Can you imagine if Netflix got involved?
Oh,
obviously, they're trying to push hard in their gaming space too.
Which is strange.
they've still got the money for it. They've lost a lot of money, but they've still got a lot of money to potentially make a move like that. That would be quite the ripple through the industry.
Lately. It's an absolute mess.
Yeah, something that's not a mess, though, is the build quality on Rudism's Fisher-Price Laugh and Learn game controller that he's managed to mod up and get working on a PC, and he's been working through Elden Ring playing on this Fisher-Price controller. So Rudism is a Twitch streamer / content creator / just super smart, super intelligent, and super nice guy. Rudism is one of the nicest streamers that I've met in this journey. Lovely fella. And very, 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 very talented. Has made some of the most creative and unique controllers you will ever see. And then had success with those controllers in the games that he's made them for.
Yeah.
Like, it is insane. But yeah, he's grabbed this Fisher-Price Laugh and Learn controller, modded it up so it's going to mirror the traditional Xbox controller. And now he's working his way through Elden Ring with this controller. And it is a great journey. And I recommend anyone that hasn't seen this, because the great thing is this has been picked up all over the world. IGN was running with it the other day. A couple of other outlets are sharing and promoting it and getting some visibility. But if you haven't seen it and don't know what we're talking about, just search Rudism Fisher-Price controller or Rudism Elden Ring and see what he's been up to, because the man's got skills, and the fact that he can have success with these controllers that he's made over the years is just a testament to his ability.
I just want to say that the thing that I love the most, because I thought he was just going to just turn it into a very generic controller, like just, take it, turn it controller, done. But it still does the little voice lines for the kids and just like circle, square. And meanwhile, he's, probably getting further in Elden Ring than I ever did. So I think that just is salt on the wound. But it's an incredible video. He's incredibly talented. And I love the stuff that he comes up with.
I think one of my favorites, I can't remember which game it was for specifically, but when he made the controller out of Mountain Dew and Doritos chips.
Oh, that would have been Overwatch, because he did
that's
Bananas,
right. Yeah.
I think, for Overwatch as well, and he played Winston, I think. And I think he played Fall Guys with Jelly Beans.
And then he modded an actual real car to be a controller for Forza back in the day and stuff like that.
And he played PUBG with a pan.
Yeah, the frying pan. And it was... Yeah, he put like motion sensors in it so you could swing the pan as if it was a melee hit in the game as he was playing. He's so talented, and he's just a hoot to watch. So check out Rudism if you haven't already. Rudeism on the socials and Twitter, because the man, he's a good fella and he's doing great work and well worth your time.
100%.
All right, the next news bit of item here we've got to the table. I've titled this one, "Run for the Hills, It's Gunzilla." It's a very lame Godzilla reference, but I thought it was pretty funny last night at about 11 p.m. Anyway, Gunzilla Games, the mysterious studio which opened at the end of 2020 with an impressive list of talent from a number of AAA game studios, has finally shared more details about their first game. Off the Grid is a AAA Battle Royale third-person shooter set to release sometime in 2023 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, and PC. Depending on when in the year it releases, it just may well be the first next-gen only AAA first-person shooter in the market. The teaser also reveals the game runs on Unreal Engine 5. And then further information goes as follows. Last year, Eurogamer speculated the game would be a near-future sci-fi shooter, and it appears they were pretty close. Set within a dystopian future, the cyberpunk-styled shooter plans to evolve the genre through strong emphasis on narrative progression. The narrative is led by Chief Visionary Officer Neil Blomkamp, best known for science fiction films District 9 and Elysium. The game will have 150-player PvP and PvE lobbies, with story missions set on the same map with other players in real time. Players will supposedly have the ability to control how the story unfolds, with each decision affecting everyone's gameplay. Gunzilla will be entering an incredibly crowded market, with Activision set to announce its next-generation vision of Warzone later this year, as well as Fortnite running full steam ahead with no signs of slowing down. Then you're throwing things like Apex and the resurgence of PUBG, and boy howdy, what a market they're going into. But still, it's exciting to see a new player in the AAA industry. So Off the Grid, a cyberpunk-styled shooter in the Battle Royale genre, written by Neil Blomkamp, who directs, shoots some of my favorite science fiction out there. It's got all the ingredients to be pretty heckin' good. The trailer is very interesting, but is this overly ambitious? Are they trying to bite off more than they can chew here, Miss Hart, with their first game at a Gunzilla game?
I mean, possibly. Like, to kind of talk about this trailer, I'm going to say this trailer just said to me, like, Call of Duty meets Cyberpunk. There were, like, a little, like, when it loads up, it looks like a Call of Duty game. And then, like, kind of almost like I guess the city in the distance, and then when all the graphics kind of came up, I kind of got that Cyberpunk kind of vibe from it. Based on the minimal detail that they've said, like, there could be some interesting original elements that they can add to the Battle Royale scene. And it's interesting that they chose, it looks like that they're not doing the previous gen consoles.
Yeah, this is going to be a straight pure next gen release, which is cool. And I guess that's probably tying into Unreal Engine 5
True.
And maybe the limitations of trying to roll some of that functionality into PS4 and Xbox One S and X and things like that. But yeah, it looks cool. I'm with you. Like, it's a very interesting premise, and I guess taking the best bits of COD and then the best bits from Cyberpunk and just that world itself, chuck that in a blender. That's something that I'd drink.
Yeah. I mean, it's more getting someone involved, and that there's narrative, you know, like we're not actually really used to narrative being included into a battle royale game. Like, it's just like, good luck, get in there, see you later. Unless, you know, with your Apex, where each individual character kind of has their story. So I guess that kind of actually proves me wrong, but I don't know. I'm curious. Like I said, I just got a lot of Call of Duty vibes from it, so I want to see what makes it original. Like, I want to see where they're changing it.
The concept of these lobbies where you drop in or you teleport in or however it's going to ultimately play out, and there's you and a squad, and then there's all these other squads not only trying to kill each other, but then maybe working towards achieving different goals, where there might be NPCs you're dealing with, or maybe you've got to blow up certain things. I like that it is going to mix in different gameplay mechanics as opposed to just kill or be killed.
Yeah.
So I like that it will stand alone a little bit in that regard. And when there's PvP and PvE lobbies, maybe like that 150 player base, maybe it might be split into like 75 and 75. And there's other things coming in where you're trying to, you know, push that army back and vice versa, and dealing with other things. But I like that there is things that you'll be paying attention towards and focusing on outside of just trying to be the final squad to get that crown or that win or whatever they're going to call it in this game. But yeah, it sounds cool, and having Neil Blomkamp involved is very exciting. And yeah, Gunzilla Games, like, they've got a lot of heavy hitters amongst their team. So the potential for this game to be good to great at release, I think, is pretty high. We'll see more in the coming months. Like, it's slated to come out sometime next year, so we don't have to wait awfully long for it. And yeah, at that time of recording, it's the only next-gen only AAA first-person shooter announced, because obviously COD's still releasing on old tech, and, you know, Battlefield is still releasing on old tech and current as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's exciting to see those leaps to just wholly and solely focusing on next gen, which has now become current gen. So yeah, let's see what Gunzilla are going to bring to the table as we get more developer diaries and announcements over the coming months leading up to release. In some different tonal news here, Nvidia has been fined $5.5 million for inadequate disclosures of sales to crypto miners. In a press release issued just overnight, the SEC notes that during the 2018 fiscal year, Nvidia failed to disclose that crypto mining was, in quotes, a significant element of its material revenue growth regarding the sale of its GPUs. Nvidia's disclosure failures deprived investors of critical information to evaluate the company's business in a key market, SEC's crypto assets and cyber unit head Christina Littman said in the press release. All issuers, including those that pursue opportunities involve emerging technologies, must ensure that their disclosures are timely, complete, and accurate, end quote. Between 2017 and 2018, NVIDIA's GPUs were in high demand for crypto mining, which caused a completely separate gaming GPU shortage. The SEC notes that due to the demand of its gaming GPUs, the agency felt that NVIDIA was misleading on how crypto mining played a part in that specific division's growth during the 2018 fiscal year. When this industry faced another GPU shortage at the start of the new decade, NVIDIA's RTX 30 series was in short supply and high demand. And to try combat the issues, NVIDIA limited the hash rate of its graphics card and even released a line of CMP graphics cards designed specifically for crypto mining to circumvent the shortages. So, in a roundabout kind of way, the SEC has come in and looked and evaluated the earnings reports from NVIDIA, because obviously the growth that they've shown in those final reports were bloated due to the fact that they had to increase the pricing of these GPUs because the shortages were there to the market couldn't consume the product quick, or was consuming the product too quick, so supply couldn't meet demand, which then spiked the pricing up, which then in turn spiked NVIDIA's overall earnings pricing up. So there's some gray area there where the shortages are done through the crypto, which then pumped the GPU pricing up due to component shortage, so on and so forth. So it was like reverse Jenga. Almost these pieces are going back in and on top as opposed to coming out. But I think this is fine. I think this is more than fair. Like, operating in the gray here, NVIDIA, as far as not disclosing exactly how those final sales figures came to be and why. You know what? Yeah, you can only be shady for so long. You're gonna pay the piper eventually, right?
Exactly. And NVIDIA's had quite the monopoly in the market, and coming from like a PC player perspective, and then just amongst the circles of predominantly PC players, this whole graphics card shortage and then price inflation has been pretty shitty. And it still is, to be honest. Like, NVIDIA has continually announcing new cards and new wares, and where they try to be compromising and removing certain other things to make it more affordable, but then the pricing still doesn't stick. It's just not comparable. And the whole idea of the crypto, groups essentially buying up it all, it really was a stinger for everyone else who kind of, I guess, have supported NVIDIA up to this point. So
it was tough out there. Like, I remember we talked to a lot of people, and even just seeing the airing of grievances over the last several years, there was a lot of common denominators there from members in the 8-Bit Nation, where they're talking about wanting to upgrade their computer, but they can't because they can't get a GPU, or the ones that they can source are now 300% more expensive, or some exuberant price compared to what it was just a few months ago on the back of these shortages, which were, as you said, equal parts responsible due to components not being available, but also crypto just bulk buying everything and saying, suck that, casual or professional gamers. So yeah, it's been an ongoing thing that we've talked about and dealt with for several years. And sadly, it's not going to change for another year or two at least, I think. Like the tech industry is just in a world of hurt when it comes to componentry at the moment for a whole host of things. So sadly, it's going to be more pain for the foreseeable future. But hopefully we just see things like this where they hold these manufacturers accountable and try and make it more of a level playing field for gamers, crypto miners, and everyone else in between alike, because it's not fair.
It isn't fair. And I actually remember on the most recent one that they released, was it last year or the year before? I remember Australia couldn't even get them. They actually restricted it and made it so that Australia actually couldn't purchase it.
Yeah, we're often the poor cousins here in the AU.
Sometimes.
It's tough. So I was fortunate enough to get I didn't get a 3090 because the pricing on those things, the cardboard box that I mentioned I'm living, I'd have to sell that off to be able to afford the 3090. But it's tough out there in the GPU streets. But hopefully COVID and warehousing and things like that, and then manufacture can start to ramp up again, and we can get back to a level of normality, and the pricing will subside.
Got all these microchips and I'm still starving.
Oh, my goodness. And the last bit of news we're going to cover off, I've titled this one, It's No Longer Hip to Be a Square. And so Square Enix has sold off its Western studios and over 50 intellectual properties to Embracer Group this week for just $300 million US. The sale, which is set to go through by September this year, means Embracer now owns Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, as well as IPs including Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and Legacy of Kain. That amounts to around 1,100 employees. As already announced, a new Tomb Raider is in development at Crystal Dynamics, built on Unreal Engine 5. Thoughts now turn to other games potentially in development at these Just Bought studios. In its notes to press, Embracer said, in quotes, it sees an opportunity to invest in these franchises, namely Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, as well as the additional acquired IPs such as Legacy of Kain, Thief, and other original franchises, end quotes. This deal does not include games Square Enix publishes from external studios such as Life is Strange, Just Cause, and Outriders. And that $300 million figure for the deal has raised eyebrows in the context of the huge sums of video game companies have sold for recently. Sony bought Bungie and its Destiny franchise for $3.6 billion. Indeed, Embracer bought Borderlands maker Gearbox for up to $1.3 billion. They're both in US dollars, obviously. Senior analyst at Nico Partners, Daniel Ahmad, tweeted to say, Square Enix's Western studios have underperformed over numerous titles, with the company's biggest growth coming from Japan-made mobile games and MMOs. According to Ahmad, Square Enix has looked to sell the Western studios for a while. In February, Square Enix said Eidos Montreal's genuinely well-received Guardians of the Galaxy game had undershot expectations, while Crystal Dynamics' Marvel's Avengers game continues to receive updates. It's widely considered to have been a commercial disaster. No dispute there. Square Enix said the sale to Embracer, in quotes, enables the launch of new businesses by moving forward with investments in fields including blockchain, AI, and the cloud. So the dreaded NFTs are going to be a nice little focus there of Square Enix as a whole. But yeah, all their Western arm gone to Embracer Group, who now owns the universe, it feels like, for a pittance, $300 million for a chunk of big studios, 1,100 employees, and a massive, massive, massive back catalogue. Like, this feels like a steal. This is highway robbery, Miss Hart.
The price was really, really bad. And then talking about popular IPs such as Tomb Raider, I reckon that's a pretty valuable IP. Obviously, I can't remember actually when the last time we've seen something released, but obviously they're working on something right now. I'm gonna sneeze. Thank you. But then obviously going over Marvel's Avengers, that one had a rough time. But Guardians of the Galaxy undershot expectations.
That game was phenomenal. It was one of my favorite games of last year, and they moved a good amount of units. But I guess, I don't know if that's more so. But you watched a bit of it and you said it looked pretty fun.
Well, I was pretty shocked to hear that my impressions seem to be inaccurate. So yeah. Yeah. And I was with you there. We both ate a bit of humble pie. Like when that was announced, we were both very skeptical,
lukewarm at best. And it came out and it was awesome. Played well, really well written. But I think those two, because they are both in partnership with Marvel, no doubt the ambition and the expectation that Marvel probably put onto Square and Eidos for those games was like and Crystal Dynamics as well for Avengers was probably sky high as far as you need to sell millions upon millions upon millions of copies, and instead they just sold millions of copies. You know, they still had a good uptake and a good player base. Obviously, Avengers is pretty well all but dead, but yeah, Guardians was awesome, and yeah, I think just the bar was just set too high on those expectations, and they still made money. Outriders didn't. It's funny because they're still keeping that in the Square Enix primary portfolio. They've said they still haven't broken even on that game, which is insane. But Embracer Group is just... It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, and it is just consuming everything on its way and just building and building and building and building. And it's so big. and it's got so many studios and so many people involved. It is terrifying how large that company's becoming.
Do you reckon these groups are like, munching up these studios at like good prices, building them up only to have the opportunity to maybe resell it at a positive,
profit?
I'm curious if maybe that's what it is now with how the game market has been, where these tiny studios and tiny groups, or not necessarily tiny here, but everything's kind of being eaten up, and everything's kind of going under like one big umbrella now. I'm just wondering if it's like a weird game of, like, I can't say chess, but essentially everyone trying to putting as much eggs in their basket and just seeing who can maybe get a profit out of it.
It makes sense. Like ultimately, yeah, I completely agree. I think Embracer are wanting to try and pump up their portfolio as much as they can, and then if they can sell off some of these studios or IPs at a profit, it's silly not to entertain that discussion, right? And the fact that they've gotten 1,100 staff, a ton of current and legacy IP, and some fantastic studios involved here for $300 million, that's a lot of money. But in comparison to some of these other deals that have been done, it's a pittance. And I don't know what's happened here. It feels like they were playing musical chairs and there wasn't many people left. And Embracer was the last one in the room. And then Square was like, all right, yeah, you'll do.
I wonder if this purchase came with, maybe because the reporting suggested that these studios had underperforming titles. Maybe the purchase came with a debt,
that's
so
true.
that's why it was cheaper, because maybe there's a lot of patchwork that kind of had to get done. So that's the only other thing I could think of.
Yeah, it's very curious, but this was big news, and it just sort of trickled out last weekend. Like we'd already recorded THG 281 at that stage, and then just saw this trickle out over the internets and came out of nowhere. And yeah, it was a steal for Embracer Group, $300 million
Steal.
for some IPs that have been around for a good long time, and the fact that some of these IPs already have new games in the work. Like, we got a new Tomb Raider on the way. Like, we had the last Tomb Raider game out in 2018, and we've got another one maybe in 2023 or 2024. So that's on the way. Stuff like Hitman and Deus Ex getting more. Maybe we get a good reimagining of Thief. If we can get some Legacy of Kain games again, though, they were so good back in the day on the early generations of PlayStation. Give me some more of that vampire switching between two universes style running on Unreal 5. Let's go. But another big acquisition is officially underway, and will be locked in barring any dispute and fighting through the courts. Be going through by September. So big moves, big moves.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy for that sum, that $300 million. You'd think Sony or Microsoft would have been sniffing around this and offered a bit more potentially if they were serious, because there's some big IP that you'd want in your portfolio there. Some big exclusives.
Yeah, I feel like both Microsoft and Sony would have wanted Tomb Raider. I don't know why. I just feel like they would.
Yeah, it's such a marketable franchise. Like, gamers new and old know of it. Non-gamers know of it due to the films and things like that. Like, it's a very universally recognized franchise and a name. And yeah, like, even just having that, like, you'd think buying that IP would fetch a hefty sum. But 300 million, Embracer make out like bandits. Crazy times. Let's see where the next big acquisition happens between now and episode 283. Who
Who's
knows?
left? Oh, sorry.
I don't know.
Left.
Yeah, that's right. But they're umming and ahhing all the time. Who knows what'll happen there? But if you want to know what's happening this past week, we got this upcoming week. We got you covered.
New releases and events.
All right, so obviously the spoiler cast for Trek to Yomi is already out, but just wanted to re-mention that. So the game is out in the wild, and it's actually available on Xbox Game Pass now too. So another little Game Pass mention there. So if you wanted to play this fantastic side-scrolling samurai jaunt by Devolver and Flying Wild Hog, and you're a Game Pass member, you can download that game, including in your subscription at no extra cost. Hopefully, as well, we're just doing the final pass on the edits for Yencast first. So that's the Witcher offshoot that's falling under the 8 Crit podcast banner there. Hopefully, that will be dropping at some stage within the next week. So if it doesn't drop by episode 283 of THG, it'll probably be a few days after, but I'm hoping to have that out by the end of this week. Just fine-tuning a couple of things there. As far as TV, nothing new dropping this week on the streaming services. We're going to have the 8th episode of Halo making its way to Paramount Plus, as well as a host of other things. But obviously, Moon Knight is done and dusted now. That 6-episode run has been complete. The finale, really good. I'm very invested in this show, Miss Hart. I think it started a little ho-hum, you could say. It didn't start with the impact that I was hoping for, but it really built by the end of it, and I was in, and it was great. Oscar Isaac is fantastic. The director has already come out and said it'd be silly not to do a second season, so I'm hoping we get some more, because the character and the tone and the mythos, yum, 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 yum. Give it to me, please. And you haven't watched any yet, have you?
No, because the reception's been really bad. Plus, there's Top Chef. I've been watching that at the moment, so...
Priorities. I can't fault you there. Yeah. I love a good cooking show.
Right.
As far as movies coming out this week, Father Stu, Firestarter, which is another adaptation of the Stephen King classic, and then Operation Mincemeat, which is a true story tied into, I can't remember if it's World War I or World War II, but that is also out as well with Colin Firth playing the lead there. So they're on the big screen. As far as games coming out in this upcoming calendar week, we've got one second. My little eyes here. I need to enhance my eyes.
Thank
didn't
God.
pick up that
I
first
thought
word
I
there.
was going blind.
Yeah, so we've got Disalight dropping on smartphone. Aiden Chronicle Rising dropping on all platforms. Salt and Sacrifice making its way to PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. We Were Here Forever. Brigadine, The Legend of Runersia. Kujavika, which is an adventure game on PC. Source of Madness, which is dropping on just about every platform. It's an action roguelike. Area Man Lives, which is an adventure game dropping on the PC and the Quest. So you want a bit of that VR action, there's a game for you. Dungeons of Dreadrock, making its way to the Nintendo Switch as an adventure puzzle game. Harvest Days, which is a PC, and obviously it's a sim. The Centennial Case, a Shijima story. It's an adventure game making its way to Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. It's making its way to PC. Evil Dead, the game, May 13th. Obviously, action horror is the subcategory or the genre for that one. Hidden Objects Collection Volume 2 on the Switch, which is a puzzle game. And then the last one coming out this week is Lovecraft's Untold Stories 2, making its way to PC, Mac, and Linux of all things. Action RPG roguelike is the subcategories for those games. So plenty to watch, plenty to play this week. If you want to join us on Fortnite, feel free to do that too. And just watch out with that dreaded Fortnite store, because it's a slippery slope, my friends. But let's move into this.
Tweet of the week.
And this tweet ties into one of those games we just mentioned, and the tweet comes from @EvilDeadTheGame, and the tweet reads, Method Man's original new song created exclusively for Evil Dead the Game, Come Get Some, is available to listen to right now. Check it out on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you want to find your tunes, and it's produced by Static Select, with music sampled from Joseph Loduca's original 1981 The Evil Dead score. So it is a bit of a banger. Method Man out there spitting tracks again. I will be honest, I have not followed Method Man's career the last several years. I know he does more acting, I think, than rapping. But yeah, one of the original members of Wu-Tang Clan, which you can buy Wu-Tang Clan skins on the Fortnite store right now.
Into a Fortnite shilling shopping channel.
That's it. But you know what? Cash does rule everything around me.
Nice.
But yeah, check out @EvilDeadTheGame on Twitter to see that tweet of the week there, and listen to Come Get Some by Method Man. An absolute banger of a track. But Miss Hart, that brings us to the end of THG 282. Anything else you wanted to mention or shout out before we close the studio down for another week?
Yeah, I'm just going to shout out the guys at News to Reviews again. Check them out, give them a follow, give them a listen. If you're looking for new content, they're a great bunch to listen to, so check them out.
100%. That's news number 2 reviews on them Twitters. Get on there, give them a follow, give them a listen, and yeah, be sure to rate, review, subscribe. That podcast, our podcast, and all the other podcasts you're listening to on the regular. Takes no time, costs no money, means an awful lot to us, keeps us tracking and trending and charting and all that stuff. And yeah, primarily Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you can. Just sneak in on that Spotify. Super quick and easy on the Spotify. It's literally just a click box where you press that button, give that star rating, and away you go. So if you can drop them sneaky 5-star reviews on Spotify, we would love you even more for doing that. But alas, that brings us to the end. THG 282. We'll see you next week, 8-Bit Nation. Much love.
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.